Hello, everybody. Welcome to a new episode of the Follow Your Passion podcast. And today I have another special guest. Her name is Judit Csapo. Judith likes to think about entrepreneurship as an art of self expression, purpose, and creativity. And passion is key for her. She was inspired as a child living in Africa and Nigeria to think from different perspectives. And when the family moved back to Europe, to the communist Hungary, her uncle, who was a diplomat, inspired her to study commerce and economics. She later also did an American MBA. She set up her first business as a tourist guide during her university studies to finance her study life and traveling, which she was and still is very passionate about. She has worked in different small businesses, starting from retail fashion industry, going into larger industries and companies. Later, she opened a slow tourism hospitality business and had a business of cosmetic products. She jumped into the deep water, moving to Switzerland, where she was helping most expat women aspiring to open a business in Basel. Her journey of overcoming and healing from breast cancer motivated her to train and educate herself to become a holistic and integrative national board certified health and wellness coach, focusing on breast cancer clients. She's also the certified Lego Serious Play facilitator, which method she can integrate into her coaching on an individual and group basis. Her health coaching program is called the Smart Solution Method, in which she helps women to navigate their life to a healthy future, healthier than they were before the diagnosis. Welcome, Judith. How are you doing?
Yeah, hello. Hi. I'm really happy to be here. Thank you
Yeah,
very much for
it was quite a mouthful, your introduction, but you've done a lot, Judith. Did you always have the inspiration to become an entrepreneur?
Well, I didn't think of it this way, but I think my father really inspired me because he was very entrepreneurial to in his situation without or yeah learning languages from books actually only that was his possible his option to just take the world in with two small kids so that
Yeah,
in already was a model and then later I think it was just a part of being creative to think about okay how to use things how to make use of whatever we do. It was that and with a purpose.
yeah.
So
So, talking about purpose, you've done a lot. You've been in the tourist industry, you've been in retail. Now you're a coach. What was it that fed your passion?
yes, well, well, all these areas were at that time when it was interesting for me and fun, and I was really excited to explore them, both the area and how to run a small business. So it was, and now being a coach is very much the same. So my experience led me finally to think that I can not do it. Let's put it this way, because
Yeah.
I have so much. So my cancer experience was a tough experience,
Mm-hmm.
probably the toughest in my life. And getting out of that and changing or realizing how much I can do with just changing my mindset, seeing things in different way, in another way, in a different way, and kind of learning how to pull myself out and overcome this whole situation and kind of take my destiny or my health in my own hands is was what motivated me to go on and help others to do this. And I think there is so overcoming difficult situations, whether it's medical health or whatever it is in our life, has a lot of similarities. But one
Mm.
core thing is definitely to empower ourselves and to believe that we have a vision and we can do that and go in that direction.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, um, as you already mentioned, you're both a victim as a victor of cancer, breast cancer. Would you say that having this experience, overcoming this difficult time, has changed your, of course, it changed your mindset, as you said, but also changed your purpose of becoming more fulfilled or being able to help others do it, overcome it as well?
Yes, definitely. So I think helping others is really key in life, but there has to be a balance. And what one very key learning of this whole process was to take care of myself first, and what that exactly in detail means. Because it's, in theory, it's always okay. I take my, yeah, I mean, I take care of myself. I'm healthy, and I thought I was healthy, but no. So it definitely turned out that I wasn't at all. And to find out what the root causes were, and to change to really prioritizing myself. And like in the, of course, the symbolic in the aeroplane, you put the oxygen first, and then you can help others. And this is sounds so easy, or so obvious, but so many people don't do it actually. And I was one of those who just, it was just not a priority to do this, and to take care of myself daily basis. And then that's something, of course, a key learning that I would love to help others change. Well, one of the key
Yeah.
issues.
Yeah, I know what you mean, because um, I think a lot of people, when they talk about taking care of themselves, they're um, thinking about eating healthy and doing some sports or exercises, and that's it. But it's much more than that, right? It's. I think it's a profound change you went through discovering this.
Yeah. Well, I absolutely did, because of course a woman, has so many roles, and then we just forget how to be ourselves and take care of ourselves. And the details are, as you say. So we sort of are on a different level of understanding what, for example, let's say movement is. Of course I move, of course I do sports, but what's the purpose, and what kind of sport, what kind of movement I do, and why, and what's the objective? So I mean, like an example, after some time, with the age, our lymph system is not circulating as well. So one objective of movement is to help that, and there are different ways to do it, quite a lot of ways. But it's obviously not doesn't come to you obviously that, okay, I will help my lymph circulation, because I didn't even know about this. So I
Yeah.
think and it's the same with so the detail and the knowledge behind it, like the blood circulation, getting oxygen to our cells, and how do we do that? So movement is a really key thing. And without, I mean, evolution wise, it's a core kinesthetic aspect of human being to move. And with the current sedentary lifestyle, for example, it's not as evident that you automatically do that. So it's these details that I learned, and what is behind, and why I need to do that. Why is it good for me to do those things? What I feel and how I feel better when I do those things. This is something that motivates then much more to actually take action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. So when you currently focus on other women, that are experiencing breast cancer or going through the process, I believe.
Yes. It involves, so the main, because I'm not a doctor, so I'm
Hmm.
trained in various things, but I'm not a doctor, and I actually don't have to be because what I'm focusing on is, if we take Okay, so there is called John Travis is a wellness theorist, and if this health continuum, then that means from disease to a wellness, a high level wellness state. There is a middle when you don't have any symptoms. But the idea is not to stop there where you don't have symptoms. So not only focus on eliminating your symptoms, but really figuring out how you feel energetic, how you feel your best healthy self, and this is the area where I focus on. So
Yeah.
to change and to help these ladies or these women to kind of be the CEO or the boss of their cancer journey, and not to feel, so to overcome this helplessness and the hopelessness that one feels when you get this diagnosis. That's really a very hard time, actually. And as soon as, so the sooner one starts to think in a different way about themselves and their health, the better the outcome of the conventional treatment will be. And and the better their habit change, the quicker it will help them to feel much better and just maintain on a long term these states or conditions. And I actually do believe that I feel actually much better than before my diagnosis. So this is possible in so many cases.
Yeah. So it got me thinking as well. Would you say that your method of or your journey that you help others with could also preventing certain diseases to come up when you take care of yourself and truly love yourself and take care of your body as you should do?
Exactly. That's a very, very, very good point, because when we do these things, of course, when somebody has a cancer, it's the same things we need to do to prevent it, in fact. But the issue is that we don't do that in many cases. But absolutely, so if it's the same. So we need to prevent and reduce, like, for example, our internal inflammation, and help our body with the oxygen I was mentioning, and so many things. And if you do this, then you can definitely avoid and prevent. So really prevent not only cancer but lots of diseases. And the thing is, so a disease is a complex thing, and cancer as well. And there's not only one reason for that. So there can be like many reasons, and to find out what, because maybe somebody is moving enough or doing, but most of us are not eating actually the right thing. And for example, food is medicine, like many thousand years ago. Doctors have already defined this, and what to eat today
Yeah.
and how, is very, very, very important. And I didn't know a lot about this. I thought I was okay. I'm eating vegetables sometimes and so on, but not exactly. So I think it's just how to supplement what you need, and to fill up what you need, and to try to get rid of what you don't need.
Yeah.
Is going towards some kind of balance.
Yeah. I remember when my wife and I wanted to have children, that we visited a therapist who was also trained and experienced in the Eastern medicine world, so to speak.
Oh, yeah.
And if you look at the difference between the two, if you look at Western medicine and the Eastern medicine, they're totally different, right? In our current world, we go to the doctor when we're ill, and we expect them to make us better, right? And in the Eastern medicine, you go to the doctor to stay healthy, and if you get ill, he or she did a bad job. So it's a totally different approach. But they're also talking about nature, and if you truly focus on it, it's really um, it's obvious almost, right? Like they said, I remember this therapist saying that if you're eating like bananas and oranges and those kind of fruits, for your body, they're considered to be ice. You know, they're meant to cool down the body because they're tropical fruits, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And when you're not living in the tropics, then it's better to eat the fruit that's in your neighborhood, so to speak. You know, I live in the Netherlands, so we should eat pears and apples, right? Because they grow naturally in our surroundings. And if you focus on that, right, it's like everything makes sense. Like nature has thought about it.
Mhm.
And that was, I love what you said as well, that nature is supplying us with actually with everything we need.
Yeah, yeah, I completely agree. um, Nature is not only in us; it's actually us. So, the more we take nature in, the healthier we are in all senses. I'm saying it in this way because it's not only it's what we take in is not only food, but it's like air, it's like the environment, the birds, singing and all this also in spiritual sense. But food. Local food and the apples that are growing in our garden or nuts or whatever is directly coming from and having all the nutrients and that's why having seasonal local foods is the best to have because there's no loss of nutrients
Yeah.
and at the same time actually there is this dosha test in Ayurveda for example and then you can understand if somebody is available or interested in Eastern more, then you can do a test and check what type you are, and then you can eat based on that, which is actually better for you. So referring to cold food and hot food and all these things. But I completely agree that eating seasonal and the more colorful, the more variety, the better it will be for your microbiome and then the gut health, which is key to be keeping and being healthy. And I find the Eastern, I was not I'm not so I'm kind of past years getting to understand much more about the whole approach and also acupuncture side and energy side and interestingly for example in Dharamsala I read where the Dalai Lama is sitting. They have an Eastern type hospital and they have a Western type hospital, and as you say, people go to the Eastern type hospital first, and they use then, for example, if it's really necessary for surgery, for example, the Western type hospital. So I don't know. I've not been there, obviously. So, but it's an interesting, definitely an interesting thing. So this is all why I also go to markets to do the shopping, and it's actually so much fun to connect to the people there who are selling their things
Yeah.
and yeah.
And actually that's also part of taking care of your well-being, right? Being social with other people, interacting and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yes. Well, I mean, in my childhood, this was completely normal. So my mom sent me to do the shopping in the veggie store. There was only no big. Uh, I mean, only separate vegetable store and everything separate. And that was a kind of a social gathering there. So everybody knew everybody. The grocery, the lady was running the shop. She knew everything of all the families,
Yeah.
and it was yeah, it was interesting to see, okay, wow, the whole neighborhood, and then they were all gathering there and choosing which apple and which pear and which one to buy, because it wasn't the same for them, for the for the the people who were buying it, just checking out each one. Yeah, well, we are not really living in this world. But it's actually possible to live in this world now as well. It's just looking for the local markets and connecting to those people. It's fun and it's really great.
Yeah. So, you're helping others. Is your clientele, is it mainly women, or do you also have some male clients?
Well, actually, a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a woman so far. So since I'm doing it, um, and so recently I'm joined. Recently, I got a place in the local cancer league to run a group, and I'm hoping to meet men as well, and so to grow. This is a free support that I do within what I do,
Mhm.
and I'm hoping that other mainly actually English speakers will show up. So many other yeah, cancer touched people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I can imagine that there are different kinds of cancer, both with male and female. Yet I think your approach of helping people and guiding them to take care of themselves and really love themselves, that would benefit all parties, I would say.
Yes, that's true. That's true. Um, and the tools are all the same in the way that everybody has to find their own way and own best practices, and that's very individual. So
Yeah.
it doesn't matter which kind of cancer it is. It's just because of my experience. I come out, let's say, from my experience, but it's completely the same with all kinds of cancers. And as I'm listening to a lot of integrative doctors out there, many researchers, and and it's so hopeful that they are always saying that it's until the last moment there's always opportunity, and that's I think this way of thinking is so uplifting.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm.
And if you think back about your journey, I would say, through the cancer process, how was your how was your mindset? Where, when it first was diagnosed, did you feel like a victim, or did you became more fightful, like we're going to beat this thing?
Yeah. Well, when I had a big shift because originally I was diagnosed for stage one, and then I thought, okay, I'm strong enough to do a surgery, and I will get through this fairly quickly, and it's okay because it's, I mean, not okay, of course,
Yeah.
but I could see the process, and and then after the surgery, it turned out that I actually have stage three.
Oh wow.
So so that was a shock. That was a bigger shock
Hmm.
because then, and here comes the mindset, I didn't see the end. I just didn't, for a time being, I just didn't know how I'm going to handle all this. So this took me a bit of time. Actually, not that much time, but it took me a lot of emotional change or
Hmm.
handling
Yeah,
to
yeah.
understand that, okay, I mean, I still can do this. I will still do it. I want to do it. I know why I'm doing it. And I can just live day to day or hour to hour or minute to minute, which is actually taking this task and splitting it into small pieces, and then it's so much easier to handle anything.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So this was my process of consciously thinking about it in a mindset, so with a
Hmm.
mindset way. Yes. So being much more conscious. I think that was my mindset develop a key mindset development, to be much more conscious about what I do, how I do, and 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 believe. Oh, yeah. So believing in and generating this optimistic kind of view and of course taking action. I mean, okay, can anyone help, or what are the issues? And then of course it's like always, of course, bumping into another kind of little roadblock, but then figuring out how to get over there. So it's and asking for help when it's possible.
Yeah,
So that's yeah, that's so important. Yeah.
nice.
Mm.
And that's also, um, I think, it's part of being having a growth mindset, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
People talk about having a fixed mindset or a growth mindset, and I
Yeah.
think a lot of people that have a fixed mindset, they would sit down at the diagnosis
Yeah.
and just don't take action, right? Accept it and feeling a victim, so to speak.
Yeah.
Well, if you're not, uh, well, you can accept the diagnosis, of course, right? But not looking at the default way things would develop. But what you said, slicing it up in small bite-sized pieces and see how you can manage it and how you can make it a little bit better or different, or I think that makes a lot of difference.
Yes. Yes. Well, getting the diagnosis is, as it is sort of, how to say it, a bit staged, is really not easy. I have to say, to anybody, even with growth mindset people, um, because you are sitting there and then you just get this, and of
Yeah,
course even the doctor is not in a good situation because he doesn't have that much time, and telling somebody a difficult message
yeah,
requires so much emotional intelligence, and so on, so on, so on, so on, and also the state where the person is, who's getting the news, and that's each situation is very different. So having, of course, already a growth mindset is great. I wouldn't say I consciously was aware that I am having a growth mindset, because I started learning a lot about Carol Dweck, and a lot about actually the growth after I had my cancer. But
yeah,
I do have an optimistic character. That's true, and I try to get out of things. So I've been doing this, I think, in my life to it was just I just learned so many new ways to climb and to conquer. How can I say that? A difficult situation. And yeah, there was something else. So I think being open to 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 a new way of seeing thing, at least, helps already so much. So maybe it sounds so simple as I'm talking about this. It's not simple, because I was there, shocked, and I was like, of course, fell apart for a while, and but it's really not allowing this victimized state of mind to take over. That's so important, and I think everybody can do that.
Yeah.
Because everybody can change the words. I mean, somebody just told me yesterday, medical crisis, but that doesn't seem so good, does it?
No, exactly.
So and I also I met so many doctors, and one of my favorite one during this whole process, I went to a second opinion, of course, and there was a lot of research background what she was doing. She was actually a wonderful person, oncologist, and but far away from me, so I was not being treated by it. And then she said, well, everybody has cancer cells in their body. You are not sick. You just have too many.
Yeah.
And what a huge difference to saying you have a medical crisis or you are in a medical crisis.
Yeah.
And if I think of this, well, it's how important it is how you put it to yourself. So what you put in your head, and everything is determined in your head. And after all, and it's just about what you think and how you feel is not determining completely you all the time. I mean, if you just sit back and see these thoughts, these negative thoughts, whatever state you are in, you can just change those. And the
Yeah.
other, one other comment is about surrendering to the situation. So unfortunately, of course, we are coded in a way that we resist what is not good or what is bad. We tend to really resist,
Yeah.
and to get to a point to understand that healing starts from acceptance and actually surrendering to a situation. And
Yeah.
it doesn't mean it's the end. That's very important to understand. It doesn't mean, it means I am here where I am. That's okay. And I can get out of this. I will do whatever I can,
Yeah.
and what is available to me to get out of this. And this concept and idea of surrendering was also something that I went so many times, with mindset development in myself, and that's I think another key.
Yeah, I think that's a very, very profound concept you just shared. Indeed, it's also what I said, that a belief is a thought you continue to think, and I love that as well, because
Mhm.
everything starts with a thought, and the moment you let go of that thought, you can think of something else and create a belief out of that.
Yeah.
And it also reminds me that I would almost say that history is repeating itself, because if you look at the whole COVID situation and the lockdown,
Hmm.
there were a lot of people that were eager to return to the situation before COVID,
Hmm.
right? And they were just waiting and hoping that we could return to the situation before COVID. That's a mission impossible, because it has happened. We can never go back, right? We can't change history. But it's what you said, it's almost like surrendering to the situation, accepting the situation as is, and start focusing on the things we can influence and how we can improve our life and how we can move further.
Yes, 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 exactly. This was so many times in everywhere, how during COVID, and there is never going back. I
Yeah.
mean, how? It's not possible. That's
Yeah.
past. That's the past. So how could we go back? And there is always a present, and we are changing. I mean, the clouds are coming and going. Wind is blowing. We
Yeah.
each second we create in our body, I think, 38 million new cells. so how that's in the present.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, yeah, this is a very good topic. But of course, we need to digest things. So yeah, and that's not as quick going as quickly. Might not go as quickly as there is this anecdote. I think yeah, there is they put somebody from a tribe, from a ancient tribe, into a car, and then they go they go a while on the highway, and then this person comes wants to get out of the car and sits down and says, I need to wait until my soul arrives here. So so it's we need to digest everything and understand that we are what is the moment. And if it's so I did so much work on the presencing myself.
Hmm.
So to be in the present, what it means to be in the present, what's the past, what's the future. And it's when you understand, and when you feel, when you can do a little bit of this presencing practice, then that helps a lot with changing directions and opening up to new situations and not getting kind of stuck in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now you're able to help others overcome the challenges that they're facing. Can you remember the first client you helped? And
Yes.
how was that?
For me or for her?
Well, for both, actually.
Well, it was amazing for me. It was really amazing for me. I was so happy to to help. And yeah, well, yeah, the issue was stepping into the same situation. That was the issue that we were working on, and why that's going on. So, and that's very typical of us all, of course, to get to know ourselves and develop our self-awareness and understand with our patterns. So what our patterns are, and how to change that, how to become, of course, to become aware. So this is one a very good function of coaching, to help people reveal their blind spots. For me as well. So I had quite a few coaches until I got to one who really helped me to find some of my blind spots. And I keep on doing this, of course, but
Yeah.
but to know our patterns and what is happening, what's going on, is yeah, that's so uplifting, actually, for everybody. I mean,
Oh, definitely.
particularly for people who want to change and want to reach goals and so on and so on. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's what I say as well, is that the first step toward change is becoming aware, right? And just like you said, becoming aware of your own blind spots,
Yeah.
that's the first step, so you can do something about it, right?
Yeah.
And the moment you become aware of something that you want to improve or want to change,
Mm-hmm.
then you got some momentum, and you just have to keep momentum.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the key of transforming yourself.
Yeah. Well, again, something that is not that easy, of course, but it doesn't have to be easy.
Yeah.
But so a daily practice of being aware is is actually the solution, because as soon as we are aware, then we can, okay, not beat ourselves up again. Of course, going back to self-care and self-compassion topic. It's then awareness and being kind of gentle to ourselves is the way to change.
Yeah.
But it's easy for me to say this, but I was the complete opposite, really. So I was beating myself up. I mean, it's really, and it's so it's possible to change all these things.
Oh,
But
yeah.
awareness is yeah, that's great. And this is a game. It's playing also. I like to see this as kind of fun, fun, as much fun as it can be daily.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. It's like we love to play games and we want to win. So we're always looking for ways of improving ourselves in beating the game
Yeah.
and enjoying it. Every step, every milestone we achieve, and no matter how small it is, it's a little celebration.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely, and then celebrate it
Yeah,
in one little way or another. Yes, this makes it fun. This makes everything fun, much more fun, and much more rewarding, and a kind of way to really get up in the morning for something to look forward to. I mean, even if it's this fun
yeah,
of the development, because
yeah,
sometimes it sounds like so difficult to change, and oh my god, and what I have to do, and and mostly this I cannot do this, and I cannot, and if we start to love this process, then it makes such a big difference, and it doesn't matter. I mean, everybody does this in their own pace and speed or
yeah,
will and motivation and so yeah, I agree with you. It's the play aspect is very important. Yeah,
yeah.
very,
Wonderful.
yeah.
So, I think you're doing a great job. Helping other people to deal with their situation and to get out of it as a better person. So that's wonderful. If there's anything you could share with the audience, like a little tip, a little piece of wisdom about following your passion or about entrepreneurship or whatever you want, what would it be, Judith?
Hmm. Yeah. Well, one thing I love to always think about is to think about the yeses. So meaning whether it's health or entrepreneurship, focus on what the vision is, and then what all the yeses are, and not what the no's are, because there are too many no's, and yeses help much better the focus, and
Yeah,
also what we were talking about, falling in love with your healing process, with your entrepreneurial process, and your own mistakes, in fact.
yeah,
um, yeah.
nice. And I think what you mean, if you just ask a random person what they want,
Hmm.
they're very good at mentioning what they don't want,
Yeah.
right? And but if you truly are, but what do you truly want?
Yeah.
It seems hard, and
Yeah.
that's actually it always amazes me.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
People know exactly what they don't want,
Yeah.
but they have a hard time sharing what they actually want.
Yeah. Yeah. That is so true. That is so true. And that's again something that you can. It's not easy actually, of course, but I mean, um, it's simple. Actually, it's simple, and anybody can do it with a little thinking. But I think it's also about limiting, sort of. For me, this was another aha moment: limiting consumption, meaning increasing creating. So sitting in a kind of corner or just meditating and figuring out, trying to imagine, feel, what I want, what is really good for me, and to go into that direction and keep the focus there.
Yeah,
So it's actually a mental and meditating, yeah, method or tool, and everybody can do that.
yeah, and it's what you said. It's what one of my coaches also said about entrepreneurship.
Mhm.
Uh, it's simple, but it doesn't mean it's easy.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So, if people want to follow you or get in touch with you, Judith, how can you do that?
Yeah, well, I'm so you did. without an H, because I'm Hungarian, there's no H. CSAPO is my name, and that's my website. So Judit Csapo is my website. There are many opportunities to write and to contact. And then I'm on LinkedIn, also same name. And yeah, maybe that's enough, because I'm just trying, Instagram, I started same name, and on Facebook I have a page, Rebalance Your Health. Yeah, that's.
Nice, nice. I really enjoyed our conversation, Judith. I think you shared a lot of golden nuggets in between that people will definitely, if they take them by heart and start applying them, that will definitely change their life. Thank you for being my guest, and let's stay in touch.
Yes, thank you very much, Erin. I really enjoyed talking to you. Thank you very much.